A Texas fugitive who's been on the run now for 4 days literally has nothing to lose. Gonzalo Lopez was serving 2 life sentences for capital crimes in the early 2000s when he stabbed the driver of his prison bus last Thursday and got away when the bus went off the road. This was in rural Leon County, smack dab between Dallas and Houston. Tonight, Lopez is on the state's 10 most wanted list, and there's a $50,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. My next guest is the point man for a Texas-sized manhunt. Robert Hurst is the public information officer for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. First and foremost, tell me this extraordinary story that sort of spiraled out in the prison bus and how this inmate got away.
Ashleigh, the bus was headed from Gatesville, Texas to Huntsville, Texas, coming down Highway 7 eastbound towards Interstate 45. About 2.5 miles to the west of Centerville in Leon County, Gonzalo Lopez was able to somehow work his way up into the driver's compartment of the bus. He cut out the bottom of the door that separates the driver's compartment from the area where the inmates are seated during a transport. We still don't know how he did that, some type of sharp object. When he got into the driver's compartment of the bus, he began fighting with the officer. That's when he stabbed him in the left hand, also stabbed him in the chest. The officer quickly and smartly and heroically brought the bus to a stop. When he did, he and the inmates spilled out into the ground outside of the bus, continued fighting. The officer that was armed with a shotgun in another area in the back of the bus went through the emergency exit and, realizing what was happening, shot out the back tires of the bus. Lopez then got back on the bus and drove away with the back tires shot out. He only got about a mile down the road and lost control of it, and then it went over into a culvert on the westbound side of Highway 7. The 2 officers caught up with the bus, and that's when they saw Lopez running across a cow pasture northbound into a wooded area. They did fire their service weapons at him. They did fire the shotgun at him, but we don't think he got hit. So since that time, around 2 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, we quickly set up a perimeter around about a 5 square mile area just west of Centerville in Leon County. All indications are to us, he's still back there. We don't think he got away. So we have got a search going on right now with over 300 law enforcement personnel. We've got the assistance of the U.S. Marshals Service. We've got the Department of Public Safety, Leon County Sheriff's Department, other law enforcement agencies from around the area, as well as officers who are taking their time off and volunteering to come out here and help us look for this very dangerous man. Back in 2004, he shot at a sheriff's deputy down in South Texas in Webb County. He was charged with attempted capital murder for that case. And then a short time later in 2005, he kidnapped a man, demanded a ransom. It was not paid. And when the ransom was not paid, he killed the man with a pickaxe. He's serving a life sentence capital murder conviction for that situation, for that case as well. He's a very dangerous man. We've got to get him back in custody. There's a $50,000 reward for any information that's going to lead to his apprehension and conviction.
So why do you think he's still in the area? If the rumors are true that he's part of the Mexican mafia, why would you not think he'd be headed straight for the border?
There's nothing to indicate to us that he's not back there. We have not received any credible, concrete information or evidence to say that he's not back there. So that's why we are continuing to search for him in this area.
So then that begs the other question. As part of the Mexican mafia, do you all suspect that they are going to help him and that he won't be alone for long?
That's a question that I can't answer because we're only concentrating right now on finding him. I can't address anything about the Mexican mafia. The main concern that the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and all these law enforcement agencies have is in finding Gonzalo Lopez and getting him back in custody and putting him behind bars.
Yeah, I mean, that's just harrowing, the story of the person he kidnapped in 2005, and when he didn't get his ransom, he killed him with a pickaxe. I mean, that tells you, you know, the lethality of this inmate. So the other question I have for you, Robert, is that if he is indeed involved with the Mexican mafia, do you fear that residents in that area are going to be too terrified to get involved and to give the tip or get the money, the reward money, for fear that there'd be a reprisal from the Mexican mafia?
Texans are a hardy bunch, and Texans do not fear the Mexican mafia. So I'm going to tell you right now, the folks that live out here in Leon County, they're helping us. They know that we're going through their properties looking for this man. They're assisting us. They know that we are going to get this man back in custody. They're not necessarily concerned about the Mexican mafia. They're concerned about Gonzalo Lopez, and they're doing everything they can to help us get him back in custody. They're giving us information about any possible sightings, anything on their property that might be of a suspicious nature, that might say that he's been on their property at some time. So we're looking for him back here.
So I lived in Texas for a number of years, and I know full well in, this time of year and beginning of June, it is an uncomfortable temperature. Is the thought process that he's not going to be able to last out there, particularly because of the heat, and that you can just wait him out?
Yes. And let me tell you that if he's thinking about trying to maybe drink out of some of the farm tanks that are back here, that's not going to play well for him. And anybody that's a farmer or a rancher knows what I'm talking about. He's going to play a waiting game with us, but we're going to wait him out and we're going to get him. We're not going to back off. We are not going to call this search off until we have him in custody.
And from what I understand as well, speaking of Texas being hot, the choppers that are looking for him have heat-seeking technology on board as well. So far, 4 days on the run, that hasn't played out. Is there a temperature issue with that, or can the heat-seeking deal with the hot Texas temperatures as well as a live person on the ground?
Well, I'm not really technical minded when it comes to that kind of stuff, but the Department of Public Safety is the one that has the helicopter. You'd need to talk to them about that, but we appreciate the assistance of the Department of Public Safety with their helicopter, as well as the U.S. Marshals Service and the other law enforcement agencies that are out here helping us look to get this very dangerous man back in custody. He did a very bold and dangerous thing. But our officers, the two officers that were on the bus, they acted very heroically. They did what they knew they had to do to keep him from getting that bus and driving it further with 15 other inmates on board. Had he gotten further away, we might be dealing with an entirely different situation right now. Both of those officers are to be commended for their heroic actions.
Well, speaking of that driver, he was stabbed in the hand and in the chest. How is he doing?
He's doing fine. He's assisting us with our investigation, as well as the officer that was in the back with the shotgun. They're both doing well. Thank you for asking.
Do you have any idea how this inmate got the colloquial is a shank, right? Some kind of a sharp instrument that he was able to get out of his cuffs on the prison bus and then cut that hole, like you said, in the partition between the inmates and the driver. Any idea how he would have, A, been able to get out of the cuffs, and B, been able to get that shank on board, and then C, cut that low partition and get under there all unnoticed?
That'll be part of our ongoing investigation to find out exactly how he was able to do that. That'll be part of our ongoing investigation.
Robert, the other question is, does he have any friends or family in this area? I mean, obviously, one of the number one things you do is you fan out to every connection someone like this has ever made, because usually they need some help, and oftentimes they get it. Does he have anybody like that in this area?
Not that I've been notified of, and even if he did, we wouldn't talk about it publicly. But I am not aware of anybody like that. I haven't been told about anything like that.
Any thought that the other 15 inmates on the bus had anything to do with this, gave him cover, were part of the effort to conceal him while he was cutting the hole? Like, do they have any culpability in any of this?
That'll be part of our ongoing investigation to find out if he had any assistance from anybody else.
Do you think it was just his own plan to get away himself, or was he going to try to get all 15 of those other guys out with him?
That's a question that I can't answer. That's something that you would have to ask Gonzalo Lopez. I don't know. All I'm concentrating on right now is providing you information on how we can get this man back in custody.
Well, I can't thank you enough for taking the time, Robert, to talk to us. I can see that the officers are out there behind you in the hot Centerville, Texas night. So good luck, and keep us apprised of this manhunt. This is a very, very dangerous man who's out there. Thank you for your work.
Ashleigh, if I can add one more thing. Anybody that's watching your program, if they've got any information, whether they think it's credible or not, if they've got any information that they think would lead to the arrest and conviction of this man again, please call our Crime Stoppers tip line. I see you've got the graphic up on the screen right now. $50,000 reward. That's a lot of money. That could help a lot of folks out right now. So if anybody's got any information that can help us find him, please give us a call. Let us know.
And Robert, they can call their local Crime Stoppers, right? Like, the network is vast. They all connect with each other. If they don't get that written down quick enough after the graphic goes down, they can call their local police. They can call Crime Stoppers, and you'll get that information, right?
Absolutely. They can call their local law enforcement agency, say that they've got some information that they think might be helpful in helping us capture him again. Absolutely. Call your local law enforcement agency and let them know that you've got a tip that needs to be passed on to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
All right. Well, Robert, we're going to check in with you periodically and see how that effort is going. And good luck out there. Be careful. Tell your agents out there, too, to be careful. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.